On today's Academy Breakdown, we're diving into the customer education program of one of the leaders in customer experience automation, ActiveCampaign. Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Academy Breakdown, a series that's going under the hood of online training programs, communities, and certification platforms to uncover how they're made, the strategy and execution of the programs, and then ways that you might leverage the same tools and techniques for your own training and certification program or business. Today, we're looking at a special company that's impacting probably many small and medium business owners, and that is ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign, if you haven't heard of them, is a customer experience and automation platform that combines many of the features that you would traditionally see with email marketing systems or a CRM, but it combines it with extremely powerful and robust automation capabilities to automate really almost every area of connecting and communicating with your clients and prospects throughout their customer journey. They have a customer education program that will likely be a fantastic role model for you that will at least spark some new ideas when it comes to program design and structure, content distribution, and then the collaboration between marketing, sales, and customer success teams. All right, so today we are looking at three things. First, we're going to look at the technologies that are powering this customer education experience. Second, we're going to look at the overall approach and the strategy that the team appears to be using as they've put together and designed this customer education program. And then finally, throughout the entire session, we're going to be highlighting some takeaways that you can use when building out or scaling your own customer education and training program. Like everything else in this series, we've put together a guide that's going to recap and really be a companion to this episode. So it's going to have the technologies we were talking about. It's going to have the takeaways and strategy kind of highlights. So if you're at all interested in this stuff, feel free to grab that guide. Links in the description below. So let's get to it. Like many systems here, let's take a look. First, we've got the content management system, which again, this team is also using WordPress. Now, we've covered WordPress and its benefits earlier in detail throughout the previous Academy breakdowns, and so we can link that video here or here somewhere. But WordPress is by far, again, one of the most powerful and popular content management systems in the market. How this impacts the education team, however, is much different than how some of the other teams that we've covered are using it. So this team's really using a robust combination of post types, custom post types for videos, guides, events, and articles that are then tagged and categorized by topic area and major functions of the ActiveCampaign technology. So why this works so well? Is this really gives customers or potential customers the ability to educate themselves throughout the evaluation and purchase and then implementation of ActiveCampaign on their own without needing to create accounts or join a class. Pretty cool. It also leverages the powerful tagging and search capabilities present in a CMS system like WordPress, which most learning management systems really don't quite handle as well as a true kind of content management system solution. Next, for on-demand training, their learning management system is Thinkific. I personally love this technology for so many businesses because it's lightweight, it delivers a great learner experience, and it's pretty straightforward to integrate if you have other existing CRM or marketing systems in place. We've used this for many of our clients, and it's very competitively priced for the amount of features that you get, and our clients are able to support tens of thousands of users and quite possibly hundreds of thousands of users as it scales, especially on their higher tier offerings. So ActiveCampaign has added some unique customizations to their Thinkific site, and specifically they are using a collection of plugins and extensions from SuperPowerUps, which is a fantastic team and really a great suite of components for Thinkific users. We use them, I would say, on almost every single implementation of Thinkific for clients. So really great tools. When it comes to video hosting, both the CMS and the LMS are managing a massive catalog of video content. And for hosting this content, the team is using Wistia. So this is an extremely popular solution, and it's already integrated into so many education platforms. With the analytics you're able to receive and the customizations of the course player, I mean, this is a favorite of many, many companies when looking at video hosting. Also on the video side, it's worth noting that they are heavily using social media and video channels with video content. So their YouTube, for example, just has tons of valuable information, and it's educational, it's informative, and it's entertaining. So it's definitely a major destination and highlight of their customer education experience. Next, they offer live events, which is supported by the Demio platform. You'll see these Demio events are integrated into their content management system. And again, they're using custom post types or events that are then delivered and fulfilled by Demio. And it looks like Demio is also handling the registration here. Now, I've been a participant on several Demio events, and it's a great webinar experience. I think if you're looking to create offers or run specific promotions throughout the event, this is really a integrated way to do that. And having click here buy now or register for new offers and programs and tools, Demio is great for that. They also have a feature which I personally love, is where you can record a webinar and then rerun that as a live event and then still kind of interact with folks in real time, even though the presentation itself is recorded. So if you're looking to do anything with live events, this may be one of your new favorite tools. Finally, they have a community and a forum for education, and that is powered by Discourse. What's interesting is the way that Discourse has been integrated or embedded into the WordPress experience. If I'm just on the site here, it's actually really difficult to tell that I'm not on the main website. And so they did a really nice job of kind of bridging these different technologies. And Discourse, the comment navigation and everything, just seeing the sections and the posts and things, it's really clean and it's really simple. And I think that's key for forum navigation experiences. So here you can see the categories with the most posts each month. You can also see a section here where they add release announcements and other platform information, which is cool. And then you can see kind of the latest in comments, regardless of which channel they are, over here on the right. So Discourse is also providing a badging functionality, which is pretty neat. I think it kind of gamifies the community experience a little bit. And it just gives you some neat information on the community members' profiles and how much, how active they are, their roles in the community and the forum, things like that. So. All right, now to the strategy and approach of the ActiveCampaign team. Again, it's worth noting, think through, we are customers of ActiveCampaign, but we are not necessarily endorsing this tool in any way necessarily. Just going through the program as you would, going online, finding this information out, looking at how they're doing things. This is really just my interpretation of their strategy and how they're doing it. First, this team has covered all 5 of the major customer education experiences. They have live events using Demio. They have on-demand courses using Thinkific. They have customer communities using Discourse. They have social channels with educational content, specifically YouTube is a major one. And they deliver accelerated onboarding in a cohort style, or they have a mix of on-demand and cohort sort of experiences, really depending on the customer use case. So they have a really rich mix, a very diverse mix of the types of education experiences that they offer. So they're really meeting their customers where they're at, depending on how you like to learn or what types of experience you'd like to engage in to go further with ActiveCampaign. They're really covering all the bases, so to speak, when it comes to building out a foundation for customer education. Second, this team has also really structured their education to be self-service. And what I mean by that is it's not just on demand, but it's a really highly searchable catalog. So much of the focus has actually been placed on getting content outside of a course and really into the hands of customers. And again, they have on-demand courses, and you can bundle and select your topics and get into official training programs, but they've really focused on getting things into the CMS, getting things outside of content-gated areas. And they're really saying, how do we get this to people who are searching for particular keywords or terms or tutorials or tools? So again, their ability to repurpose content, put that on YouTube, put that on Instagram, put that on LinkedIn, create these custom post types for videos and guides and tutorials and articles, and then bundle those packages logically into groups and create on-demand courseware out of that, then also provide live events and training out of that. Their ability to repurpose in this scale is really a strategic differentiator when you look at their program as compared to some other folks in the space. So next, from a design and production lens, if we look at their quality and their production value, it's extremely high. They feature real team members here in branded spaces. They've got professional lighting and video setups throughout all of their channels. Everything's branded really, really well. It's got consistent, featured imagery of people and team members and products, and it's got all these neat, fun designs. And so I really think that it's a fun, kind of appealing, approachable design and style. And again, it's really high quality video production, especially for training content across the board. So really, really fantastic job and commitment to production. If we think about the design within the LMS, their use of these customizations and plugins and navigation additions and things is really, really smart. They have so much content that it would really be difficult to find content and kind of navigate the Thinkific experience in a traditional way. You just have this massive grid of courseware, and you'd have, maybe some categories and things on the side, but when you're in the hundreds of pieces of content and bundles and things like that, it would get really, really challenging. So here on the left, they've got some really great drop downs that help me find the right content quickly. We've got onboarding here at the top, which is probably their most common use case, I would imagine, for this on-demand course. We've got courses by language, which I think is really, really sharp. And that's something maybe to pay attention to if you are a global company or if you are working with customers in a variety of languages. I really, really like how the multi-language features here. Again, Thinkific itself can be multi-language. There is an interface translation kind of function that happens there, so you could have your entire Thinkific in Spanish or German or something like that. But the way they've done this here with kind of the, in my browser, English is my primary language here, so they have that set up, but I can quickly jump to other languages, and the course titles and text content, all of that is translated. So very, very smart in the way they did that. The level up section here showcases some more advanced topics, and I would say ways to get more out of the tool in terms of workflow. Here in inspiration and use cases, they've brought in and repurposed their live content. Again, repurpose being a huge strategic advantage for them. And so if I'm in the LMS, if I like that kind of course experience, I can see that here as far as replays go. And this is something we hear all the time. We need micro content. We need micro content. They have a collection of short content and micro learning labeled quick nuggets, which is kind of fun. What's great here is, again, they give me the option to engage with them in any way that's the most helpful for me. Whether that's through like just-in-time resources on the CMS side, like I need to just figure out how to integrate this one tool, or I need to figure out how to, configure this automation. I've got that on the CMS. Or if I want to onboard, or if I want to send my team through a program to make sure we're all on the same page with the tool, I can send folks to a more formal kind of package content in courses. Or if I am using a tool and I just have a problem, I've got some really informal discussions here in the community or on social media. So really just kind of a collection of ways to engage with them. And again, I think that's incredibly smart and a really big strategic advantage that ActiveCampaign is leveraging a lot. And finally, they've done an incredible job when it comes to educating customers on workflow. In fact, they've designed an entire section of their CMS, which they've deemed the marketplace. And this marketplace features hundreds, I would even say thousands of recipes that walk you through all of the major steps and integrations or functions inside of the ActiveCampaign platform. Now, this marketplace here represents what I think is probably one of the most complicated jobs that customer education teams can support, and that is designing and developing customized ways to use a product or a feature to achieve specific outcomes. And the way they've done this here is really blending customer education and marketing with a more traditional sort of solution engineer role, or even a professional service type role, where they're helping you customize your workflow and helping you implement that in the tool to achieve your specific goals. So really, really smart. And again, as a team here at ThinkThrough, as a team that's using ActiveCampaigns for our automations, these step-by-step guides have really been an incredible value add for us as we learn and implement the different pieces of the platform. I know there's tons of email platforms. There's tons of CRM platforms. There's lots of integration tools and low-code integrations and things. But they don't stop there. They actually take this a step further by allowing you to import these recipes into your ActiveCampaign installation or your platform. And so you can actually just use this main button here and click that. And they not only walk you through this automation visually and how to set it up on the text page, but they actually just import it into your platform for you. So you get the automation in your platform, you see how they've set it up on the marketplace page, and then you can customize it as you want. So again, one of the most complicated jobs in customer education, and they have nailed it. They've done an excellent job with presenting some really complicated, sophisticated tools, technologies, and workflows in a great, elegant way. All right, let's recap some of the major takeaways and highlights here from this academy. First is focus on getting your content into the hands of your customers. And that may seem simple, but it's easy as a customer education team or professional to be obsessed with everything must go in the LMS in order for it to be education or in order for it to count. So think outside of the LMS reporting and the analytics and those pages and screens, and instead look at how your LMS fits nicely or integrates into your content management system or your CMS. And you may need other tools at that point. You may need to look at how you can measure engagement, not only as far as course enrollments or certificates delivered and things like that. You may need to start to rethink what a session is. Is that an article or an insight or recipe viewed on the CMS? Again, that's your education team helping inform and educate customers throughout their entire journey with you, not just in the course. So think about those impacts as well. And again, you may need other tools to look at, video analytics, whether that's a Wistia solution or a Fathom Analytics or something like that, or even Google, things like that. You may need some sort of way to measure, the activity in the LMS, on the CMS, and in those other destinations, and really represent to, your leadership and other teams the impact that your customer education team has on the overall business. Second is use different educational experiences to solve your customers' challenges in as many ways as possible. Again, we talked about the 5 major customer education experiences here on the channel, and so this team is a brilliant example of how that really unfolds in reality. They have live sessions from walkthroughs and tours and demos and webinars and industry events. They also have on-demand content, whether that's in the CMS or that's packaged as on-demand courses and content. They also repurpose a lot of that and use that on social media channels. And then they have those informal opportunities or kind of peer-to-peer opportunities in the community and the forums. And so this team here is a great example of how you can take a particular topic or key concept or a particular solution to a problem, and they develop training and education around that, and then they use that in as many different places as possible. And so ActiveCampaign did a fantastic job with that, and they continue to do so. And then finally, the biggest takeaway for me personally, and I think for other teams as well, should be you need to look for opportunities to deliver solutions and really specific outcomes in your educational content. This team here went as far as creating specific recipes and automations and really kind of presets that you could import into your software and then save their clients. They're saving their clients the challenge of recreating that automation or building those steps out and things like that. They're saving them time, and then they're teaching them how to undo that kind of preset and how to customize it for their own business. And so look for ways in your own tool to go beyond just teaching the features and the buttons and the functions. Go beyond that and start to say, okay, well, what's the goal that these people need to reach or achieve, and how do we teach to that goal? And I think, that is really a mature way of looking at customer education, product education, and training, going beyond the features to specific outcomes. All right, this wraps this episode of Academy Breakdown featuring ActiveCampaign University. If you enjoyed this episode, click subscribe, share the video with a friend, coworker, or team that could use help in building out their customer education or success program. And if there's a company you want us to break down, let us know in the comments below as we continue to plan and research future episodes. Knowing who you are interested in and what you'd like to take away from that is really, really helpful. Again, I'm Matt Tidwell, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Our team at Think Through is here to help you build training that customers love and outteach your competition. So to learn more, visit us at thinkthrough.co or check out the links in the description below for all the tools, platforms, and the guide referenced in today's episode. Take care.